I'm Cynthia Lee Fontaine, and you're watching Outlook Video. Estás viendo Outlook Video.
I want to welcome Reverend David Harvey, pastor of Celebration of Life Ministry and author of the book, A Gay Pastor's Personal Journey to Acceptance. Welcome to the show, Pastor David.
Our name is Celebration of Faith Praise and Worship Center, and we meet at the DeFrank Center on Sunday mornings at 11 o'clock for all those who want to have a place to go.
Good to know. You've been around how many years?
Oh my goodness. So the church has been in existence for 22 years, and I had Bible study in my home for 3 years, so I've been in the community for about 25 years. Took me a while to come out. I moved to San Jose when I was 1986, when I was just going through the process of the acceptance because I was raised in the church. I was always trying to be the good boy, but you know, after a while, you got to come to terms with who you are, because you can't be hiding all the time. So yes, I've been around a little while here in San Jose.
Sounds like. Well, in your church, how do you help LGBT people reconcile with having faith and also being gay, lesbian, etc.?
So lots of people are on a journey, and one of the reasons I wrote my book was because of the fact that people are on journeys. Some are at the beginning, some are at the end. It just really depends on where you are. So when you get to the point where you believe in God and you still want, but you have tendencies, in the community, whatever you want to say, I'll be perfectly blunt. If you know you're gay or lesbian, but you still love God and you still sense that there's a God, you want to do something about it eventually. So that's what we do. I try to encourage people. Every Sunday they get enough discouragement with everything else that's going on in our world. My goodness, and particularly now it's getting to be more and more violent. So I like to offer some sort of encouragement. But when it comes to the questions of gay and lesbian, the reason I wrote my book was just for that particular reason. People would come out of nowhere. They probably from the Water Garden. They'd come and see on Sunday morning because they walked by and were feeling guilty or something. And before they left, they'd always come up to me specifically and said, "Are there going to be homosexuals in heaven?" Of course there are.
Oh my!
So they have been brainwashed to think that they're an abomination of some sort, and it's a ludicrous thing, but people have to work through all of that. And so if you give them, because I think society, for the most part, still doesn't have a real good education on that. And so they don't know all the ins and outs and what it is. And so they only go by what they think the Bible says. So that's what. They keep everything in context, they would be a whole lot better off.
Oh my gosh. So how do you help some of your parishioners change the negative beliefs that they hear into something more positive?
So those negative things have been brought to their attention for a long time, so you can't just do it overnight. So that's why I encourage them to get involved with someone who can help them. So sometimes people come to me for counseling, and it's just not a one or two thing. You work with them for months, even years. If it's not once a week, it's once every month or something.
It sounds like quite a process.
Yeah, so as I said, for everybody it's different,
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
They just they just can accept it or they can't accept it. So yeah. And if they can get involved with other gay people and be around people that are positive, or at least trying to be towards their positive, then I honestly believe that changes hearts. And when you get a heart change, then your mind will change, and then you can affect your community.
In a positive way.
In a positive way,
yes. What would you say is the main unifying factor that connects your gay and your straight parishioners?
So my opinion is, I don't really care if you're gay or straight. If you believe in Jesus, then you belong on my team. And so that's, I would say, the foundation for me is that Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
And as long as I don't like a whole lot of stuff that goes off there in the unknown world, let's put it that way, because lots of people have brought other things into the religion that I think have clouded it and made it, then people think you're a hypocrite. Just stick with the Jesus stuff. You may not see things the same way, you may not interpret things the same way I think, but as long as you believe in Jesus, then you belong with me. That's.
Thank you, Reverend David Harvey, for joining us tonight at Outlook.
My pleasure.
The Cinequest Film Festival in San Jose, Silicon Valley, was voted Best Film Festival by USA Today readers. This year's festival continued to highlight the depth, talent, and diversity of the filmmakers from around the world. And once again, LGBT films had a large presence at this year's festival. And one of the directors from one of those films, Alon Kol, is here to talk to me about TransFixed. Welcome, Alon.
Thank you for having me here.
So I got to see the film last night, and I have to say it was heartfelt, emotional, some educational, and really just powerful to watch these two people. Tell us a little bit about the film, and then we'll get into how it all kind of came about.
Okay, this film is about two people that have Asperger's syndrome, and actually it's about their romance. And one of them is transsexual, and another one identifies himself as a straight man, and he doesn't want to marry a trans woman before she goes to surgery. So
yeah.
we followed them for 4 years, and we tell the story.
It was an interesting documentation of the story. So how did you come to meet this couple? I mean,
first of all, I met Martine, and I found her very interesting. She is and she was a very influential trans activist, and also activist for Asperger's issues in Toronto. And I asked her, maybe you do have some personal story, and she told me that she has a fiancé and he doesn't want to marry her before she goes to surgery. So I thought, okay, it's just amazing story, and I need to tell that. And I started to follow them, and I just fall in love with them, and that's it.
They are a wonderful couple, and you do fall in love with them, and you get frustrated by them. And part of that is because they are dealing with Asperger's syndrome. So how long did you follow them?
For 4.5 years, actually, follow them. Then you have films that actually can explain the relationship in deep depths, right?
Yeah, because I thought it was interesting that you kind of come from where they meet and are kind of living together to her journey through surgery, through all the way through their marriage, and then catch up with them at the end of the film where they've been together for a period of time, which I thought was just very touching, and a lot of the struggles and celebrations along the way. How was it to be part of that, watching kind of through the eye of a camera?
Yeah, it's actually was very exciting and very touching, because to be in the moments of somebody that going through such important things in their lives. We're actually there when she was going through surgery, in the room of surgery. Like, I was watching the surgery and I almost cried because it was so touching. Somebody going through something that she was dreaming about it all her life, and finally she got it. And you know, it was also very dangerous for her. And so all the days through the surgery it was very, very, very emotional for me as well. And I think it's just in the movie you can see it.
Yeah, it was beautifully done. I think that was one of the nice things I saw, is that when the subject around the transition and that was just handled with such respect and delicacy. You were so delicate with it. It was just lovely to see it presented that way, which we don't get to see very often. So I want to wish you luck with this wonderful project. It was a great movie. If anyone gets a chance, I suggest that they go see it. They can follow it on Facebook. So this is my guest, Alon Kol. He is the director of TransFixed. It is a heartfelt and powerful film, so look for TransFixed at film festivals in your area. Support your local film festivals, and for more information on future screenings of TransFixed, go to transfixedfilms.com. You're watching Outlook Video.